Do you want to know what happened between Abdullah Mason and Albert Prince Bell? In this video, I'll break it down. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, some people requested this video. Yes, I did watch the fight. I didn't do a video last night about it because I'm human and I was super tired, right? So I watched the fight and I KO'd, but I'm back. So congratulations to Abdullah Mason. He got a stoppage in the 12th and final round over late replacement Albert Bell. So congrats on the victory and retaining the title. Now, I keep it real and I give you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I don't care who gets mad. I'm going to tell you my honest opinion. If you don't like it, scram. The good. I'll say Abdullah Mason, he's a young, promising talent, kept his title. He showed some ferocity in the back half of the fight, and he secured the victory. I also think his corner, his dad, did some good work as a trainer to let his son know, let his fighter know that they were kind of down in the fight and should really push for a knockout. And you got to give credit because he was able to get it. Now, there was some controversy with the stoppage. In my opinion, it was a terrible stoppage. That's not taking anything away from Abdullah Mason. He's not the referee. He's not in charge. But for me, I ain't like it. I ain't like it at all because the first 5-6 rounds, Albert Bell was boxing beautifully. It was pretty much a runaway fight for Albert Bell, right? Where he was boxing, pivoting, nasty 1-2, turning Abdullah Mason. And Abdullah Mason, for real, was not living to the hype. He wasn't living up to that, right? But credit to him, he's young and he had a good cornering, as I mentioned. So he was able to figure something out. And it was about round 6, definitely round 7, he started to come on, but he started to come on a bit more. And then he was landing a very nasty body attack, sometimes sneaky, sometimes it was like noticeable, but he was sticking with that. And he found something with it. And I think that started to zap the energy from Albert Bell. Now, an important fact to note here is Albert Bell was not the intended opponent. In fact, Abdullah Mason was supposed to fight a UK fighter, Joe Cordina, in Cleveland. But he had some kind of fight, I believe, which resulted in visa passport issues. So he wasn't able to come to America to go to Cleveland for the fight in time. It created all sorts of problems for him. So with Cordina out, Albert Bell stepped in. And I don't know the exact number, but he had like a week, 10 days maybe, to prepare for this fight. So to be honest, I'm more impressed with what I've seen from Albert Bell overall, because this fight, and you guys don't get mad at me, I'm only being real. For me, the reason why I got to give Bell credit is because you weren't even supposed to be here, and it looked like what faltered. It didn't look like there was this high-level skill gap where Bell couldn't keep up. To me, what it looked like is he got tired. Halfway through the fight, he started to get tired, which is, if you know anything about boxing, and I've been around boxing for upwards of 15 years, right? You know about boxing, to get your lungs up, it's going to take longer than a week, right? So to be honest, and I'm not making excuses because Albert Bell, he did sign up. He did get paid. He probably got paid cool to be on it. First TNT fight with DAZN or whatever. So he signed up for this. But at the same time, he wasn't getting blown out the water. And it looked like his cardio failed him, which is, for me, to be expected when you don't have adequate time to prepare. Look at Shakur Stevenson versus Josh Padley, very similar. The guy has no time to prepare. Also on that card, you had Martin Bacoli, who got knocked out. by Joseph Parker. One guy got a full camp, Joseph Parker, and then Bacoli coming in, catching flights, and really just got to make weight. You know, Padley got to make weight. I know Bacoli's a heavyweight, so he didn't, quote unquote, have to make weight, but he wasn't in peak form. And for Abdullah's division, where he's a champion, 35, yeah, Albert Bell had to make weight. So I was impressed with the boxing more than anything, given the fact that it was a late camp with inadequate time to really get in dog shape for Albert Bell. And to be honest, like, boxing looks bad, man. So let's talk about the bad and the ugly. I'm gonna lump it up. The bad and the ugly is, I'm not even mad at Abdullah Mason winning. He seems like he's a fun fighter to watch for sure. There's also some similarities to guys like Jerron Boots Ennis. But however, this new generation, it's not looking the same. It's not looking like the Floyd Mayweathers and the Andre Wards, where you're seeing some bits of special, but then there's other judgment calls and different things, like when Abdullah Mason got dropped twice by the unknown power puncher with the tail, right? That wasn't a good look. You know, the Sam Noakes fight, I think he made it harder than what it should have been. And even in this fight with Albert Bell, a late replacement, you probably, if you had more experience, you would have probably cooked him. Like, you can't put Gervonta Davis in there with somebody who's not trained, right? And then they got a week to train. Gervonta Davis going to cook him. David Benavidez is going to cook him. If he has a full camp and his opponent has a couple of days to make weight, they're going to get cooked. Like, even when Rolly was out and Esau Pitbull Cruz got subbed in for Gervonta Davis, he was already supposed to fight. So he was already in shape. You know what I mean? And that's an ideal situation. Albert Bell was on a layoff. He hadn't fought in a bit of time. You know what I mean? So for him to come up and show and exploit some vulnerabilities in the first 5-6 rounds, that was telling. And then for Abdullah Mason, it looked like he couldn't really figure it out until Albert Bell slowed down, and then he started working the body, which that was intelligent. I like that a lot, right? Especially from a young fighter. He started going to the body, and then that really depleted the last bit of energy from him. So yeah, there were some knockdowns in the 12th round. Even he got knocked down twice, but the second one where it was stopped, I don't even know what really happened. I don't know if it was fatigue. I don't know how hard the shot landed or if it even landed. Abdullah Mason was seizing the moment, so to speak. He knew this was his best opportunity to get the guy out of here in a fight that otherwise he might be losing. And then when Bell went down the second time in round 12, the referee just like came up and immediately waved it off. Didn't give him an opportunity to catch his breath or anything. So for me, that was a pretty bad stoppage. And it looks like bad because the A-side fighter is like, the promoter is like, first sign of danger, we got to get the A-side the victory. That's what it looks like. And for me, that's super unfortunate because you have another fighter who stepped in late terms, took the challenge, boxed very well throughout most of the fight. Even the DAZN commentators had him up for most of the fight. And then as soon as he gets tired, which to me is pretty natural given the fact that he didn't have a full camp, and then Mason comes on strong, you immediately wave it off. And I like when fights end in a traditional way, right? Meaning there's no confusion. Like when Gervonta Davis knocked out Leo Santa Cruz. I mean, there's nothing nobody can say. It's so definitive that Leo is out of here. Nobody can complain about that. No one can say, oh, he put up a good fight until he didn't. You know, no one can go back and rewind it and be like, hey, I'm not good with that stoppage, right? But this fight is definitely controversial in nature. So that's all I'm going to say. I don't have nothing bad to say about Bell and Mason. Like, it's not their choice. They came and they fought, so I'm not mad at them. But I don't agree with the stoppage, and I think Bell was winning the fight. But looking at the scorecards, it don't look like Bell was going to get a real fair shake. Top Rank had Albert Bell and told him that they can't get him a fight as a promoter because nobody wants to fight him, and then they end up releasing him. So people like Bell, unfortunately, in the sport of boxing, they don't have the big backing, and they're never going to get treated, like their skill set deserves. So very unfortunate for Albert Bell, but it is what it is. Let me know what you think of the fight. Hype my video up.